Standing Commission for this HENRY Dunant Medal, the President especially, etc. The value which I know from past experience, including the seriousness that accompanied the attribution process. I began participating in the Red Cross at 8 years old. Across from the apartment where I have lived since birth, there lived an Italian Red Cross voluntary nurse, and I spent a great deal of time with her, admiring her uniforms and listening to stories regarding her activities. Once I accompanied her through the streets of Rome, asking for contribution for the Red Cross. When I arrived at 14 years of age, the minimum age for joining the youth group, I began to follow the various activities, and I was encouraged by my parents, such that they both became active. My father translated the publication from Geneva, and my mother acting as secretary. There are no limits to the age in which one may serve the movement. Placing limits, whether low or high, is counterproductive. The world has an ever-increasing need for activists who spread the message of the movement, starting with the fundamental principles, which are our holy book. From the beginning, I said that I want to become president of the group in order to work toward increasing the power of youth in the Red Cross, and everyone laughed at me. At a certain moment, they were no longer laughing, and I was elected president of the Rome group. At that time, the middle of the 60s, the Italian Red Cross was an aristocratic and paternalistic organization in which the activism of the younger members was looked upon with despair. Nonetheless, we were able to create a national organization going from 10 groups to over 100. The same process of democratization of the Italian Red Cross would come about in the succeeding 20 years, during which the number of groups of volunteers increased from 100 to 1,050, with millions of kilometers traveled in activity of assistance throughout Italy as well as in other countries till the last mile. Power may mean the power to have, but also the power to be and the power to do. Many people would like to do something for others, but do not have the chance. Our movement can be the occasion they are seeking. Frankly, my activities in Red Cross has been like a mania. But it did not stop me from becoming a doctor and to work as such. I became a doctor because I was in the Red Cross, and not vice versa, as usually happens. At a certain moment, I dedicated all my free time from work to the Red Cross, permitting me to widen the horizons of my activities to the golden age. First as president of the Youth Advisory Committee of the League, and later as president of the Development Commission. These were times in which there was strong pressure in Geneva, led by the Yugoslav Red Cross, for a full realization of the principle of universality also in smaller states and in the island. The development involved also my national society, of which I was elected president with 98% of votes. When I asked myself if it was worth it to have dedicated my life to such an absorbing activity, I answer yes, it was all worth it. Finally, even one who wishes to win an Olympic medal spends thousands of hours in training, and this obsession is judged acceptable. Then why not working with others and for others? Dear friends, unfortunately, we are living in dark times. We watch dismayed the complete contempt for international humanitarian law. Some governments who should be teaching respect for it are the first to violate it, to the harm of civilian population, of our ambulances, and even of our volunteers. The movement cannot accept this degradation. It is true that, as a great president of the ICRC said, the Red Cross is important for what it does, not for what it says. But if we remain in silence, we risk becoming accomplices, and one day we will have to beg pardon to all humanity, as has already happened in the past. The international conference is the best opportunity, permitting a reminder to all that neutrality does not mean impotence, and that impartiality contains within it the concept of proportionality, which cannot be forgotten and violated with impunity. Anyhow, we must be realistic. We cannot change the world, but we can, and we must together be a light in the darkness, and the hope that for many can represent the difference between life and death. Thank you.